Anti-Afro Svengalis, leave it to my dear friend, Gerald Palmer, to bring it on home. It is quite obvious that he is trying very hard to make what is happening to him happen to others. Now, I can't make you read what's on the screen. I can't force you to read what's on the screen, but I would like you to read what's on the screen. So I'm going to give you an opportunity to read what's on the screen before I go into my commentary. So stay tuned and I will return. First off, I should do a video on this situation involving illegal aliens. Illegal aliens is a legal term. That's a term they use in immigration court. Every illegal alien is not going to appear before a judge. It's impossible. There are too many of them. Just like the thieves we have in this nation, people who defraud others. More specifically, those who rip off the government and those who engage in insurance fraud. In fact, when you rip off Medicaid, it's called the False Billing Act. That's a federal regulation. When you are accepted into the honor system, when you're giving a privilege to bill for services, you do so with the honor system with the federal government, and you do so with the honor system with insurance companies. When you violate that honor system, there are consequences. Now, let me be clear on something. Just because you are billing Medicaid doesn't mean that you have participated and have undergone a federal background check. Now, what they do, they, at the very minimum, the entity that is allowing you to bill, they are required to run your name through the federal system to see if you are on the barred list, which means Medicaid has barred you from billing. That's what they're required to do. Going through an actual background investigation, that is going to depend on the specific program you're working with under the federal government. Dumpsey, Derell, Dempsey Spears is a liar. He does not have a federal contract where he underwent a federal background investigation where he was assigned an investigator who sits down and goes over certain things, and you fill out this long application and it takes several months to conduct that investigation. And you give all this information about your background. He didn't undergo that process because he would have failed. I need to make this very clear, people. He's up here hollering about a settlement. I settled. Look at here. Let's put it on the screen. It doesn't make any difference if someone says they settled something. The feds are still going to go and get the details of what happened. They're going to go to the board. We're pretending that what Dumpsey said is true, that he applied and got a background check, has an investigator. They're going to go to the Texas Behavioral Health Council, and they're going to get the actual documents. The 3 people who filed the complaint, there's 3 numbers up there. They're going to go and talk to those people They filed a complaint against him, a legit complaint that resulted in action. They're going to investigate the internal workings of what happened. They're not going to look at a document and say, we're going to accept what the Texas Behavioral Health Council did. That has nothing to do with the feds. They're going to do their own investigation. So he's full of crap. No one's bound by anybody's decisions. You heard that with the internal investigator. Post certification said that. We're not bound by anybody's decisions that they're making. We do our own investigation. We convene our own process. Nobody's required to accept someone else's findings. So they're looking at the internal situation about what happened behind Dumpsey stealing this money. He's so full of shit. He is a liar. He did not go through that process. And you don't know if he still has the ability to bill Medicaid after he stole money. That is not the same thing as a specific agency with the feds inside the federal government, the program required that he undergo a federal background investigation. He's a freaking liar. He lies about everything. And they come back and ask you questions. And they look into things. They go into your financial background. He's got a $130,000 tax lien. He would not pass. He would be deemed a risk. And when you're deemed a risk, when you have all these financial problems, they are not going to pass you because they think you're susceptible to being bribed. You're susceptible to lying. You're susceptible to stealing. And he's already stole money. Does it matter if it's 800, 8,000, or 8 million? He stole money. And then he's not a supervisor. They removed that privilege from him. He has all this negative garbage going on. And they're going to accept him as a federal contractor. A program is going to trust him. He is lying. Guaranteed lying. And go back to Gerald's comment at the top. He wants everyone to experience what he's been through. He wants everyone to suffer what he suffered. What he, quote, suffered is through his own devices. How many times have I been told, thankfully, you didn't do what they did? They're trying to get you to replicate their conduct. That is the goal. Re-emphasizing, we all have free speech. You get to say whatever you want to say. You know, there is a limit, threatening people's lives and all that stuff. Targeting government officials, saying you're going to overthrow, you're going to be the president tomorrow and all that stuff, and you're going to storm the White House. We all know those things. We all know the limits. But when it comes to entities and agencies, the Supreme Court has ruled they have a right to decide who they want to hire and who they contract with. And they can consider your speech, your attitude, and who you interact with, your life experiences. They have a right to decide they don't want to do business with you. They have a right to terminate your contract. They have a right to fire you. It is a privilege to have a job. It is a privilege to have a contract. It's not a right. The only right that one has is not to be discriminated based on protected class. So if you are going about discriminating against others, you can't call that free speech and say you have a right to have a contract or you have a right to retain a job. How many times have we stated it over and over? The second you hear a white person saying ninja, you want them fired from their job. But you can come up here and attack everybody on the protected class list and nobody should call your job. Nobody should try to get your contract taken away. Nobody should report you to any boards. You only want certain people to incur consequences. When it comes to you incurring consequences, it's about leave me alone. You're harassing us. Why are you here in the Umar Johnson sector? The question is, why the hell are you still talking about us? You're still talking about us. I went out yesterday. I went to brunch. I went shopping. I ran some errands. I had to catch up on some work. Every single thing I did yesterday, I was bombarded with text messages, with phone calls, with emails saying the same thing. Dumpsey is live. Derell is live. I'm thinking for a second, oh, they're just reminding me that there was a live stream. I'm thinking it's ex post facto because sometimes we get information after the fact. No, it's another live stream. How many times did he go live yesterday? I lost count. Was it 3 or 4 times? And who is he talking about? AFW, me, Rev G, our friends, and our supporters. Wait a minute. I thought he said we are irrelevant. Nothing that we say matters. It is very obvious. He's pressed and distressed. It's through his own devices that he's in this situation, and he's trying to force me to go there with him. Never went there, and I never will. He decided to steal the money. What thief steals money wanting to get caught? He thought he was smarter than the government. He got caught stealing. They're not going to ignore that you stole money. Nobody's bound by anything other than their own regulations and rules. Now, let me tell you something. I know someone who is the head honcho for human resources at a major university. She's got all her certifications. And immigration shows up whenever they want. 5 or so show up, and they always come straight to human resources. They've been told over and over again, you need to check in. I don't remember the office. I think it might be the president's office. They get the name of the whoever, manager or supervisor, the email address, and they send the email. Okay, the next time you come, because they're not announced visits, can you check in first with, I think it is president's office. They don't listen. They just show up in human resources. So when they have these 5 immigration officers show up, they're told you have to check in. One officer will go to the president's office, and the other 4 will stay in human resources. And then the person comes back, and then they do their thing. They have a camera and they have video. And then they're always told, I'm sorry, the state law is we're not allowed to videotape. We document everything we do. You're not going to tell them. They're not going to listen. They're going to do what they're going to do. You're not going to tell them what to do. If somebody has something they want to investigate and they want to find out, they're going to do it. You can't stop them. You're not smarter than these folks running their gigs. Nobody in that Umar Johnson sector is so sophisticated that they can get away with breaking the law and they can't be discovered. Which is why you shouldn't be breaking the law to begin with. That's the easiest way to stay your ass out of trouble. But Dumpsey thought he was smart. He's up here stealing money. He's a thief. He's just determined. He's dead set. Dumpsey's dead set making sure people come to the first therapy session. There's a reason for that. I'll go into that in another video. We're not going to get into that now, but I sure am going to talk about it. This is a thief who got caught and wants to try to run around with all this other garbage. I don't care about the other garbage. You got busted. You told on yourself. Like I said yesterday, you're mad. You're frustrated because we're not following you over the edge. So he starts bringing up all this other crap because you did what you did. Nobody sitting there in those chats can do anything for you. You are done. You did it all yourself. You liar. You billed for those sessions and you didn't provide services and you got caught. I don't give a damn about you saying you didn't get arrested. Well, how many people in this country here illegally got away with it? And now, I don't know if you saw it or not, now the government is canceling their hearings and arresting them. How many PPP loans out there people thought they got away with it? You're not getting away with diddly squat. You're clean, cold, busted, and trying to figure out a way to force us into the same category that he's in. Oh, no way in hell. You can go ahead and say whatever you want. You are the thief, you are the liar, and you're the one that got busted. That is the bottom line. That's exactly what happened. And you can't change that. No matter how many lies you make up, no matter how much you twist and turn and contort and try to come up with 55 million other avenues to travel down, it all comes back to the fact that you are a thief, you're a liar, and you got clean, cold, busted. Folks, I got more coming your way. In the meantime, you know the drill. Buyer beware.